Yes.
Yeah, everybody can hear us.
So for the people that was here last week,
Yes.
who applied what and what stuck to your mind and what did we do?
Well,
Well,
I haven't eaten ice cream.
you didn't eat ice cream, okay? How did you feel about not eating ice cream?
And great.
Yeah? Great.
No, I didn't eat ice cream all week. I'm proud of
So
myself.
normally, how much ice cream do you have?
I'd say 3 or 4 times a week.
Did it make you feel better? You didn't have any?
I'm
Yeah.
proud of myself.
Good for you. Okay.
Something I've been trying to love.
That's a huge accomplishment when you've been trying to stop something, salut, and you don't have the ability or something takes you over. It runs your life. Ice cream runs your life. Right? You have to take it back. Mais pour elle, elle disait que c'était super difficile pour elle avec la crème glacée. Alors, elle a dit que elle a dit que cette semaine, elle n'en a pas mangé.
Ah, c'est bon, ça.
Oui. Mais est-ce que tu penses que tu vas retourner à manger de la crème glacée à un certain point?
Pas autant.
OK. C'est bon, parce qu'il y a un juste milieu avec tout hein, dans la vie. Si on se dit on va pas manger de la crème glacée, pas du tout, mais on va se sentir quoi?
Ouais,
Deprived. Deprived. Is that how we want to feel in life?
No.
The last thing we want to feel, you know, when we feel deprived, we do the opposite. We go the opposite way. We're like, nah, I'm going to eat ice cream 3 times a day.
Then you binge.
And then you binge. So what's that in between? What's that balance?
Balance.
Yeah. And you find yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else? Besides not eating ice cream for a week. Yeah.
Sleeping late, going to
Ooh.
bed.
Yeah.
Some of you know, some of you don't know, I have 2 little people, they're very time consuming. So when I'm done my day and I'm ready to just decompress, I always feel it's not enough. I wanna have that extra half hour to read or have that after X hour, and then next thing you know, it's just sleep is something that so it's that battle of like, so trying to listen a little bit more for the cues during the day that I give myself that I need for me, whether it's a cup of tea or it's listening to the music or just listening more to what I'm reminded to, so that I won't have that same intensity at night and be like, okay, this is my time.
Mhm.
And how did that change?
How did that change? Reminding myself that, okay, if this is the point where if I go beyond, I will feel like crap in the morning or in the middle of the night when the little ones get up. That's also still there, and it doesn't serve me.
Yeah.
So there's been some
Good
earlier
stuff.
nights and some better sleep on my part, not on the children's part. And I did my bit.
So what I'm understanding, what stuck to most of you was what serves me instead of me serving it. What other realizations? Quoi d'autre est-ce qu'on a trouvé dans notre petite découverte de la semaine? Challenge yourselves. Ouais. Comment?
Avant, tu le faisais pas, maintenant tu le fais.
Avant, tu le faisais pas, maintenant tu le fais. Alors là, est-ce qu'on parle un peu d'extrême?
Ben, non. Étape par étape.
Étape par étape.
Moi, comme j'ai suggéré à quelqu'un dernièrement, je dis, on ne peut pas se sevrer un bébé, là, quand il quitte le sein de sa mère, qui est habitué d'être collé dessus, puis que c'est chaud, puis qu'il boit son lait. Tu ne peux pas lui arriver du jour au lendemain, donner le biberon qui est tiède, puis qu'il n'y a plus la sensation de chaleur avec maman.
Oui,
Ça ne marche pas.
il y a une progression.
Maman va venir comme ça.
Oui.
Hein? On va venir comme ça, puis le bébé avec.
Ouais.
Fait que transition, un petit peu à gauche, un petit peu, puis on monte les quantités.
Bien
puis
sûr.
Finalement, on change le balance. Là.
Bien
Puis
sûr.
à un moment donné, ben, la challenge, c'est étape par étape, puis graduellement y arriver. Mais du jour au lendemain, prête comme ça, non.
So how many of you actually realize that in your life, when you want to get somewhere, you realize that there's steps to get there and it's not overnight that it happens? How many of you realize that it takes steps?
Yeah.
How many are acceptant of the steps? Say, I am acceptant of the steps. It doesn't happen overnight. It sounds like AA now.
You have to fight your own ego.
Okay, anything else to share from last
What
week?
about cold turkey? If you go cold turkey on something,
So,
you're not doing it gradually, so there's no steps.
so tell me,
Ready to suffer.
Well, unless you accept from that moment forward, it's a problem, I think, a perception of how you see it.
So-
You see it as suffering, you're gonna suffer. If you don't see it as suffering, you're not gonna suffer.
has cold turkey ever worked for you? Yeah? Anybody else cold turkey has worked for before? You?
I'm just going cold turkey. And the reason I'm saying suffering is not because I see it as suffering, but I feel the consequences of going cold
course.
turkey.
Yeah.
So, but you have to be strong enough to tell your mind that you're in control. So the headache, the whatever, the nausea that you feel because you're used to doing that or intaking whatever it is. Now all of a sudden you're not, and your body is saying, hey, what's going on? You gotta be strong enough to say, hey, you know what, I'm in control here, I'm the boss,
And it's good for me. it's healthy
driving
for
the
me.
boat.
So
that's
you're-
what I mean by cold turkey.
So your relationship with what serves you has to be so aligned, so straight that saying, I will no longer eat ice cream, or I will no longer, whatever you were referring to, no longer smoke, no longer drink,
No longer eat ice cream. Oof, it's hard.
no longer. We're trying to find that balance. What about balance?
I would say it's too much.
That's right.
I'm
3 fois
gonna
par
eat
semaine, 4 fois par semaine, c'est beaucoup.
instead of the big ball,
The big bowl.
just a little 2 scoops
Ooh,
instead.
scoops, small scoops. medium scoops, big scoops.
What's the size of that spoon? That's what I want to know.
It's small, but it's big.
So this week I want to talk about anchors. Okay.
Okay.
In neurolinguistic programming, there's something called anchors. Who knows what that is? Who knows what it is? Avant que je prends ta réponse, je vois qui donc.
Usually referred to like a boat, no?
So that's a great visual.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
great visual in your brain so that you can kind of understand the association with where we're going. So yes, a boat anchor, yeah,
Something that holds you steady.
something that might hold you steady.
Something
Yeah.
that brings you back to.
Déprogrammation,
You
je
can,
pense.
you can connect it.
So see. Say that again?
You can connect it, like when you say you want to do something. You have an anchor, say, okay, remember this, pink equals this.
I prefer the explanation
I don't know. how
because
to
that was
word it.
clear. The explanation was clear. Who else wants to take a kick at the can?
Tethering.
Hmm?
For the way of tethering to link yourself to something.
Link yourself to something, yeah? Okay.
Okay.
So an anchor refers to the stimulus that triggers a specific state or behavior. Okay, we'll say that again. A stimulus, quelque chose qui arrive, qui te fait penser à quelque chose d'autre, que pour toi, c'est probablement dans le passé. So a state, alors, comment tu te sens? Maybe emotionally, something it makes you feel, ou quelque chose que ça va te faire faire. Qui les jeudis soirs, quand je dis 5 à 7, tu dis, wouh, on va aller prendre un verre de vin. Hein? C'est ça. Moi, je dis, it all comes down to an automatic response, right? You're driving down the street, you see a red light, somebody comes to shake your hand, what are you going to do? You're going to take out your hand and you're going to shake it. C'est-tu des années de COVID? Parce que si oui, je lui donne pas ma main.
Non, ils ont mécanique.
Ah oui, c'est super ça. Tu dis, OK, shoulder. Elbow. The stimulus that triggers a specific state or behavior.
Could be smell too, could be
À l'intérieur.
anything.
And we're gonna get into that.
All the senses.
So a specific state or a specific behavior. Mhm. So when we talk about smells, Pascal, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that as well. When we talk about smell, hearing, feeling, touching, those are sounds, that's called submodalities. C'est la façon que nous, on prend notre monde. OK? Et la façon qu'on prend notre monde est dépendante à la façon qu'on voit les choses. Okay? So an anchor basically is a trigger, an automatic trigger to something that happens in the world around you. Does that make sense? Okay. Do we need any more examples? When you see the golden arches driving down the street, you think, right? She thinks French fries. Some people may think what?
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Some other people may think
Big Mac.
Big Mac. Some other people may say McDonald's. Some people may say, wow, that's amazing food. I can't wait to stop. And other people may say, yuck,
Ew.
pourquoi je mets ça dans mon corps?
Ah ouais.
Right?
Ah oui.
Okay. All of the ones we just said is an anchor. Mhm. When I say your favorite teacher growing up, you all have your own image. So do you see how anchors are important? Anchors are everywhere. You have millions of them. Okay, the question is, which ones serve you? And which ones don't? Right? It all comes down to that. And as we said, it all comes down to how you've been conditioned and your relationship with things. Right? Somebody who's lactose intolerant va dire ice cream, boo.
I do like
There's
them.
lactose-free ice cream though.
But other people, they have a different.
Solution.
Pass it all to the back. Pass all the ice cream to the back.
Yeah.
So can you guys think of a couple of automatic responses that you have? That could be something that affects you.
It could be trauma. It could be attached to some trauma.
It could be the smell
Smell
of
of-
tires that brings you back.
Yeah.
That's an anchor.
Smell of fumier aussi.
Ça peut être n'importe quoi. Mais guys, la minute qu'on commence à réaliser c'est quoi ces encres, on commence à comprendre la façon qu'on pense. Si je vous dirais, prenez 1 minute pour écrire quelque chose qui vous revient quand ça vient que l'environnement externe vous donne, comme la sensation de sentir quelque chose à un événement ou entendre une chanson, mais quelque part que ça arrive, but you don't like to go there. But it happens because you're triggered by your environment. Take a moment and write it down, whatever it is. I'll give you a very silly one. You want a really silly one about Zimmy? I'll give you a really silly one about Zimmy. Zimmy peut pas éplucher une orange. Pourquoi? Why can't he smell il peut pas peler une orange? Pourquoi?
Parce que ça senteur.
Pas la senteur. Pourquoi? Parce que ça la ramène à quand il était petit et sa maman lui mettait une orange dans son lunchbox et qu'il avait besoin to peel it every single day and his hands would smell like oranges for the rest of the afternoon. Il refuse. You guys should all come with an orange and say, hey, could you peel this one? Don't throw it. That's what I'm talking about. Why do you do the things that you do that you don't want to do, but you do them because of a past memory? With that example, I'm sure you guys can write down one. You could do whatever you like. But there's a bonus to each, and if you can come up with one of each, that'd be great. I'm gonna use them at some point today. What did you say? I heard the door.
So she said, close the door, when they said, but then 5 minutes after she opened the door.
I get stuffy in there. Like,
It does, I know.
It's
so loud, we're coming to be quiet.
Because I have to just get up
Ça peut-tu frôler les réflexes?
Bien sûr. Ça, c'est un autre. Ça, c'est un autre. C'est sûr que c'est un autre anchor. Everybody has an example? And if you don't, it's okay. We're going to get you to write down a couple of examples at some point. What makes you a successful realtor? What makes you a successful realtor? Okay. Yes. What else makes you a successful realtor? Service.
Avec good,
Good neighbor.
le dire en français,
Ben oui.
avoir une belle personnalité.
Oui.
présenter bien,
Bien
là,
sûr.
avoir, la facilité à connecter avec les gens.
Oui.
l'interaction.
Être capable d'avoir une énergie qui attire le monde de vouloir participer à vendre leur maison. Ouais. Quoi d'autre?
A good negotiator.
A good negotiator. What if I set some good anchors? Nice. On le réalise pas, but we have a lot of really good anchors. How about no matter how you feel, you will give your customer the best customer service? On va se réveiller le matin, on va parler à tout le monde qu'on pense qu'ils ont besoin de vendre et acheter. Ouais. Et on va réaliser que our mood doesn't have to anchor our activities and behavior.
Anyway, our customer doesn't care about it.
Of course not. Of course not. They don't care about. No wait. No wait.
Et ce qu'il veut savoir, c'est que tu es là, tu es souriant, puis tu es à la job, puis tu fais de la vie.
Exactement.
Tu es là au poste.
Alors, c'est quoi les anchors que vous avez
I have a good one.
comme courtier? Dites-moi. Dis-moi.
For me, when I walk into the office,
Mm.
the minute I put my stuff down, I have like a switch. Ding, to go and
Yes.
prospect.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
That's
That-
great.
That is a perfect one.
That's why I came back to the office, because at home, I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
Yes.
Life is beautiful.
Yes. Now, take that as an inspiration. What anchors can you put right now? Bless you.
I'll get you.
Think about it. What other behaviors or anchors can you program or have a desire to program now? I mean, what about putting on that power song that makes you feel absolutely limitless and you play it right before walking into your listing appointment?
I have a good one. The bungle song.
Yeah? That one does it for her. Everybody's got their own. What about adding that as a trigger, as an anchor? Before you walk into your listing presentation, you put a song that motivates you, that makes you feel powerful, unstoppable. Et pendant ce moment-là, pendant que ça te fait sentir comme ça, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? We feel that moment, we feel that song, we feel what it's going to bring forth into the best version of yourself as you walk into your listing appointment. That's an anchor. That's an anchor. That's an anchor. What about another one like you could set yourself a precursor to that anchor. You set yourself à 5 minutes sur mon GPS avant que j'arrive à mon adresse. Je joue la chanson avant d'arriver à la maison. Sounds ridiculous. But these are all anchors that just tweak one little thing here, one little thing there. And we're all about those little things. C'est juste un petit switch comme celle de Bianca. Mhm. Est-ce qu'on a des exemples? D'autres exemples? Oui, non, vous allez me laisser toute seule avec les exemples. Il y a un autre que j'aime bien utiliser, c'est comment est-ce que vous vous motivez pour aller faire un entraînement? How do you guys do it? How do you get up to go work out? Yeah, how do you do it? Not at all. Next question. Oui. Alors, comment est-ce que tu facilites que tu t'habilles?
Oui, c'est vrai.
Uh-huh.
Il est placé.
OK. Pour moi, de plus, qu'est-ce que je fais? Je le mets juste à côté de la salle de bain, exactement où est-ce que je vais me lever. Je le mets juste là, à côté de où est-ce que je vais brosser mes dents. Ça va être tellement facile. Il y a vraiment zéro chance qu'il y a quelque chose d'autre qui va prendre mon attention, là. C'est ça, qu'est-ce qu'ils appellent un sticky habit. Vous avez déjà lu, I'm sure in lots of books, you've seen something called sticky habits.
No, I never heard.
Sticky habits, yes. Yeah. And it comes from the conditioning of anchoring, having the anchor, no pun intended, in the sand so deep in that your boat can't go anywhere. It's got no other choice. So how do you stack up? How do you stack that up so that you give yourself absolutely no choice to anchor and stack something that's beneficial for you, that's going to serve you? Huh. Any ideas? Let's play. Let's play.
I have an example. Probably training more regular than anyone in this room. I train pretty much every day and I hate it. I hate the training. It's not like I will. Because I know people who love training. I hate it and all this kind of
You
thing.
still do after all this time?
I still do. What I found the trick. There is a psychologist who, unfortunately for you guys, speaks in Russian. It's a really good psychologist, and he has tons of videos, many hours of videos on YouTube. So I put him in earphones. I started to change because I kind of already missed to listen. Like, you know, you used to listen and it's kind of your vibe and you can understand that, and you're looking forward to do that calms you down and kind of confirm you, you know. So I put it, and even before I changed for gym, I put it, so I distract myself and I reach 3 class and I'm going.
She called it.
What's gonna happen when I will hear all his videos?
You're going to start all over again.
No, I will find something else because it's for the last 6 months. It's that person, but before I was watching some other things.
So Luda used the word distract. Is it distract
Non, c'est programmation.
or is it focus? Ooh, let's
No,
talk about this.
It's distraction because it's trying to distract myself on these and bad.
Or has it focused you so strongly into your little bubble that nothing else can distract you?
Exact.
Haha. Right? So in your mind, you've triple fortified it. You've triple fortified it. 1, my clothes are ready. 2, I know the guy I'm listening to. And 3, I know exactly what I'm doing. The whole world can blow up and I'd still do exactly this.
I was enthusiastic and happy when I'm doing that, but at least I'm doing, you know?
Okay, so is instant gratification and instant happiness the best thing for you at every moment of the day?
No.
But what works is your consistent achievement of your results that will then make you happy. And that's what you've done. So that's an amazing anchor. Her anchor is solid. Who else has triple fortified a habit that's super important for themselves? Why triple fortified? Because she has a plan and she's moving. She's triple fortified it. She's using some modalities to make sure that nothing is going to distract her. So how do you do that? Great example. Thank you, Luda. It's a great one.
That's true.
Huh? Faire un planning. Alors, if you had to, yes,
It's very similar, but you associate something that you feel positive about, sometimes with something that you're a little bit more resistant to. So similarly, it made me think, one time I was very successful in working out, gym daily. I started the series 24, and I told myself, I will only watch 24 if I'm on a treadmill. So I was so into that, and but it was something that I wanted, and it was feasible, and so I associated the two together, and I was
the
successful.
pain and pleasure pastry.
I think seriously, because you want to know what else, but you don't want to watch only if you're training.
Huh? There you go. Another anchor. So now I want you to think of the anchors that you have that don't serve you. What are they? Staying late in bed in the morning. That's a good one. But the
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1 out. And that is a great anchor to get yourself up. I know some people, qu'est-ce qu'ils font? C'est qu'ils commencent, ils ont un automatic coffee machine. Ils commencent la machine à un certain temps et c'est le café that gets them out of bed.
That's
Oh.
That's when we're having withdrawals.
What are they? Some examples of bad anchors that we have.
Screaming children. Don't.
Yep, sure. What else?
Can be like at 8 o'clock at night, I have like, I need my candy. It's really not good.
Okay,
So that's the-
yeah, okay.
Sugar.
So now we have, what attracts you to that sugar?
Cause I'm getting down, I'm getting ready to unwind and I'm always on such a high.
Yeah,
So all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm losing my high, so I need that. And need that run before I go to bed.
oh, you really need that rush before going to bed.
Ah,
Yeah. It's just
Ça,
a-
So now the question is, what sold her on that?
ouais, c'est-tu quand t'es
Ça vient-
jeune, tu faisais
Pour,
ça?
ouais, pourquoi est-ce que tu as décidé à un certain point, tu avais besoin du sucre avant dodo?
I'm torturing myself.
Mais quand est-ce que tu t'es vendu que tu avais besoin du sucre avant de faire dodo?
Ouais.
Because you're so. I don't want to go back. It's all like.
Ouais. The question is, when you decided to do that?
Ouais.
When in the past?
Peut-être le moment avant de le mettre dans la bouche.
Parce qu'à quelque part, tu peux avoir
Ouais. C'est le next.
ceux qui vont faire la même chose.
Mais j'ai coupé en tout cas, mais écoute, c'est vraiment.
I think a lot of people, they eat sugar or candy or cookies before it's comfort.
Yeah,
like,
it's comfort.
Oh, it's like, it brings comfort.
How about a tea?
Ça give them boost.
Not
aussi,
comforting
le café,
enough.
ça-
Non, ben, moi, je suis comme un thé, genre camomille, genre, tu comprends-tu?
Une petite boule de
Tout,
Nidal
tout.
comme dessert. C'est tout.
Guys, you really want to understand about glucose? You guys should follow the glucose goddess
Goddess.
on Instagram. She's incredible with all the little graphs she does. I've learned
Yeah.
so much from this woman.
Google goddess.
Glucose goddess, and she does graphs. If you eat a salad before having a burger, for instance,
Yeah.
what happens to your glucose level? Yeah. Ouais, check ça. Glucose goddess est super.
Oh, c'est
What happens to
glucose.
the glucose
Okay.
level after you eat a salad?
Check it out. I ain't no glucose queen, so I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna forward it to you, to her, and you guys will check it out.
Like, what's the sugar is on the salad?
Glucose goddess, check it out.
But you
She's-
don't-
and you know what? She does these really cool graphs. So you don't have to read anything, and then you just look at it. Boop, boop, very, very simple. You're like, ooh. Ooh, like that you do. Okay, what other bad anchors? Because what we can learn how to do is what?
Storage.
Yeah. We can do something about it. And we're going to talk about the steps. So let's share one more, and then we'll go into how to build one. How to build an anchor. Ouh. Pas capable? Qu'est-ce que tu veux dire, t'es pas capable? Physiquement?
Addict.
But it's addictive. You can't even get on those platforms.
Ma mère, elle
OK. Combien de temps est-ce que tu penses à combien de temps est-ce que tu passes à faire ça? Tu sais même pas? 1 heure, 2 heures, 4 heures, 12 heures?
J'étais habituée à dormir 7 heures avec mes autres emplois. Fait que pour moi, là, de revoir un autre, c'est comme me
Beat.
donner vraiment de bonheur. Je me couche quand même tard. Toujours, j'avais cette habitude-là de, avant de me coucher, OK, je prends comme le temps d'être sur mon téléphone, je mettrais même un cadran pour être sûr que je le lâche. Puis des fois,
Tu passes ton cadran.
Ah,
Est-ce que ça donne du plaisir de passer ton cadran? C'est comme,
Ouais.
oh yeah, I'm being bad. so
Puis là, je
bad.
me parle à moi-même, je suis comme, ouais, aujourd'hui, j'ai le droit.
Oui, t'as du plaisir with breaking your own rules. C'est ça le problème.
Ben, c'est de l'addiction aussi.
Hmm.
It really is.
Hmm.
Parce que moi, si je me trompe, ils disent d'arrêter 1 heure avant
1 heure avant.
tous les écrans,
Tous les écrans.
incluant la télévision,
Incluant la télévision.
les téléphones, les tablettes,
Ouais.
tout.
All blue light.
Donc, tes neurones se reposent avant de
1 heure avant.
couler dans le sommeil.
Le pire, c'est que
Lucy's right.
Juste
That's the
mettre
stat.
une fil rouge dessus, ça va aller.
OK. Alors là, qu'est-ce que je trouve, c'est que tu as beaucoup de plaisir à te mettre une règle and then you break it. Oui. Est-ce que ça arrive avec plus que juste qu'avec le téléphone le soir?
Ben, je pense que oui.
Mais tu as du plaisir.
Oui, oui.
Oui. Et tu aimerais le garder.
C'est ça que je sais que c'est pas bon. Ben non, parce qu'il faut que je dors. Je sais que je manque de sommeil.
OK.
Je sais qu'il faut que je dors. Je suis comme, je sais pas comment dire ça, je suis trigger. Tu sais, comme je suis tout le temps dans le milieu.
Oui, oui.
Ouais, il faut que je me lâche. Je me dis encore 10 minutes. Je sais qu'il faut que je dorme parce que demain, je ne serai pas bien. Fait que ça roule tout le temps dans ma tête.
Il n'y a pas un app qu'elle peut mettre, puis it stops it? I think so. It shuts it down. No, there is. There's an app.
Ah ouais,
Ouais.
puis,
Après, je sais pas, 10 heures, tu n'as plus accès à n'importe quel social media.
Non, ben, faudrait.
Ben, tu fais ça, tu donnes le password à quelqu'un.
Mais c'est pas juste social media, like, for me, it's reading.
Ouais.
Yeah.
Whatever I have and I'm reading that day.
C'est de la
it's-
misère tu veux voir la prochaine page. C'est ça?
vas-tu-
Ben, moi, je préfère que c'est du reading
Ben oui.
Ouais,
que le
c'est moins
téléphone,
difficile,
parce que
oui,
c'est
de
ouais,
voir.
ouais.
Oui.
Parce que moi, soit tu parles de la lecture, que ça t'encourage à
Stimule.
lire, mais mon mari, lui, se lève à 6 heures, il va faire sa lecture, autant le livre que l'écran, le matin, là.
Mhm.
Et il commence sa journée à 8 pour prendre soin de lui, puis être out pour 9 heures.
Alors, lui, il fait la même chose,
chose.
mais lui, il le fait le matin.
Fait qu'il il stimule ses neurones le matin pour être right on the spot, alerte à job, au lieu de se morfondre le soir à se porter à regarder l'écran ou à lire. Mais il se le donne, son 2 heures. Là.
Well, something to think about. Solution number 1, find the app. Give yourself half an hour, give the password to someone else. Solution number 1. Solution number 2, go to bed earlier and do all your surfing the next morning. Laquelle tu vas choisir? Pam, param, pam.
Elle veut pas jouer.
Mais
Oui, c'est pour ça que j'ai.
quand je ferais par contre, je pense que c'est ça. Tu sais, j'ai l'habitude de me coucher plus tard.
Est-ce que tu vas avoir besoin l'aide de quelqu'un d'autre?
Non.
Essaye, laisse-moi savoir la semaine
Ouais.
prochaine. Laisse-moi savoir comment ça fonctionne.
Je te teste. Encore debout?
C'est maintenant à toutes les heures, à tous les jours, à telle heure, mon chien, faut que je le programme.
Oui, mais celui-là, tu n'as pas le choix.
Ben, c'est comme des habitudes
Ouais,
que je ne connais pas avant. Tu sais, à un moment donné, tu te dis non, non, c'est des choses qu'il faut que tu sais, que tu t'obliges à accepter. Pour
Right.
être sûr que ça soit bien codé. Tu sais.
Right.
Sinon, tu
But now we're talking about anchors, right? And your anchor, why it's so difficult to take it out of the sand and say, I'm no longer going to check my phone anymore, is that she finds so much pleasure but you're serving the phone right now. You're serving your habit and your habit is not serving you. You have to make a decision. For you. Qui va apprendre comment faire un encre? Who wants to learn how to create an anchor?
Can your anchor be someone else? Like your anchor is someone.
It can be someone else that triggers something in you.
Let's say, for example, for prospecting,
Yeah,
can you have somebody, let's say, that keeps you accountable?
that's
Like,
accountability.
yes, but that could be seen as an anchor too.
Sure. So think about it, right? So an anchor is any outside stimuli that triggers to you to have what? A behavior or an internal reaction, right? So we have many. We have many when it comes to other people, right? When you see your mom, you feel. When you see your ex-best friend, you feel.
And their friends.
I like the choice of words. Yeah, baby. Right? Everything triggers us in specific ways. I'm asking you what triggers you in the ways that you don't want, and let's change it. Right? Or how do we build new ones? Okay, so how do we build the first one? Step number one, intensity. How do you build a new anchor? Step number one is intensity. Intensity.
Meaning?
Let's pick any example. What example do we want to pick? Oh, let's go back to Zimmy and the orange, okay? Because that one's good. The only reason why these oranges on his hands bothered him so much is because he would put his fingers to his nose and he would smell it. And he smelled like oranges. How intense is a smell? Right? I ask you right now to smell oranges. Can you smell it?
Yep.
You see how strong that
The
is?
memories, part of the brain.
It's in your brain and you know what it smells like, right? There's an intensity right there of any submodality that you choose, right? Right, so point number one is intensity. Build that intensity that is so big. Si toi, ça tente de recréer, d'avoir un autre 2 heures, de passer du temps sur ton téléphone, tout ce que tu as besoin de penser, c'est le plaisir et le visuel de qu'est-ce que tu aimes et tu peux le recréer plus tard. Tu comprends? C'est exactement la même chose. On est allé chercher ce visuel et ce feeling. Right? Si tu veux vraiment recréer l'encre, you do what Luda does. She triple plays it. Right? She went on to get 3 submodalities. Et l'autre se recrée le moment. Yeah?
Tu imagines aussi l'événement, ton cerveau ne fait pas la différence, il pense que c'est existant.
C'est clair.
Il vit la même émotion
Exactement.
par rapport à cet événement-là, que tu ne fais plus, mais tu fais juste penser.
Exactement. Maintenant, si tu y penses, we've spoken about this, right? Stacking up. So let's say you want to feel lots of, like, you want to be able to list this house and you're not feeling very confident that day. You can create an anchor by playing that song, by tapping on your wheel, okay? And you can also take out your, you used to always hold it against me, the 40 best moments where you felt the most confident in your life. T'as pas besoin de faire 40 parce que you've always told me 40 was too much. Remember the list? You had written it out. Do you remember in your little book?
Yeah.
Ouais,
40
40.
moments où ce que tu
40
te
moments.
sens bien.
Maintenant, on va pas parler de ça parce que ça, c'est un autre exercice qu'on avait fait, mais tu penses à des moments où est-ce que c'était un moment où est-ce que tu avais tellement de confiance and you stack them up. Tu penses à 1, 2, 3, tu joues la chanson. Tu arrives en avant de la maison et bang, ça peut être dans ta tête. Intensity. Point number 1, intensity. Is it clear? Is intensity clear? Are you sure? Yes,
That's
yes,
what's up.
Bianca. No, not clear.
Like intensity, in order to build an anchor,
Mhm.
there has to be a certain level of intensity. Like it has
You
to-
have to build it up
Mhm.
with different submodalities. And some modalities again can include the song. It's so think about it, right? The anchor, how we're building the anchor, it's gotta be a high intensity emotional moment within you that you're at this heightened level of. And you do it the way you want. It could be a song, it could be a motion, it could be a dance, it could be a tap, it could be whatever. It could be a thought, it could be a moment, you could go back to a moment in your life, whatever it is, figure it out. Okay, so intensity, is that clear?
If you look at the example of Runus with the oranges,
Yep.
it goes back to his memory of, I guess, in his lunchbox, having an orange every day. And him being able to smell it or peel it and then just having that smell the whole day. Like for me, I would like to have the smell of oranges on my fingers the whole day, you know what I mean? Like it would be a
Depends on
positive thing
what-
for me. So is he stacking something? Because at some point that it was a negative thing for him.
Yeah,
It depends.
it was,
But
absolutely.
what made it a negative thing?
But wait a second, that's no,
It's perception.
so let's not talk about why it was a negative thing for him. I could have presented it and said, he loved smelling the oranges, you should all give it to him for Christmas as a gift.
Yeah.
That's not the point. The point now is that it's an anchor. Okay, and how do we build that anchor? Right? So, and then after that, we can go back and say, okay, well, the reason why it was a bad one is a moment that XYZ ABC, right? That's perception based. But right now we're talking about how do we build those positive anchors that can get you so that they can serve you instead of you serving
Mm.
it.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Do we understand intensity?
So I just want to clarify,
Yeah.
intensity, along with creating that to build intensity, where stacking up is part of building intensity? Or is stacking up for step two?
So it's all, great question. It's all in one, right? So for you to build that intensity, what are you gonna do? You might say, all I need is that smell of that one orange and I got it. I'm there. I smell the orange. Or do I need to have 24 oranges and I put my nose in all of them, right? I don't care. It's whatever you need to visualize it for you. Do you need one moment of confidence or do you need 24 of them? C'est à vous à décider. But the intensity has to be high. It's gotta be so high.
Friday, sometimes I'm extremely tired for the week and I still have to go to work in the night. What I do is I have a karaoke on my shower. So I take a shower, I play music and karaoke. And it really works, you know, it really, because it comes around to give a lot of energy. So thinking.
So there you go. That's an anchor. On Fridays, she takes a shower while she karaoke's, right? That's an anchor. That's a pleasure anchor that gives her energy. And so the minute you create that anchor, it's going to give you the same result every time. She knows on Fridays when she's going to take a shower and she's going to play karaoke, she's going to feel,
Energized.
aha, that's what we're trying to create.
I know I am.
Tell me.
I feel this is from my youth when I was young and now I something.
Yes.
So it's smiling.
And it still brings back the same emotion.
You can do a sprint in your car and just like, you're again young.
Yes, those are the ones I'm talking about. How do you build those? So one is that intensity, and you associate that and you build that intensity by those types of moments.
Can we, I don't know, trigger is a negative word, but could it be a trigger, like as soon as you smell that on the spot, you have this memory.
Totally.
As soon as you get in.
That's what we're programming right
Yeah,
now.
it's like trigger.
It's not a bad word.
Yeah, okay. Because usually triggers are like.
Triggers happen all the time.
Negative.
That's very typical. You get the smell associated with something very sad and traumatic. Say,
Yeah,
funeral flowers.
so another word.
Yee.
Too much power.
So a trigger is not a bad word. When I finish my sentence and you decide to answer it, I am triggering you to be able to answer it. So trigger is not a bad word, I think, in in the way the word has evolved over time, and now it's like considered a bad word, but not a bad word, but like a bad note. I think we understand. So intensity, everybody got intensity? Do we need to clear it up? And it's clear in your mind. You understand how to activate intensity?
Yes.
Yes. Step number 2, timing. Timing, you gotta kind of know when you're gonna release all of that excitement, right? Right? So now you're all pumped before your listening appointment, but it's not a listening appointment, you're walking into your uncle's house. It's pas fort. Or you're walking into a funeral home, pas fort, right? But so you'll get, when you reach your highest point of intensity, that highest point is that timing that you need to remember. Imagine like you have a little bottle and you're trying to bottle it. You want to create a trigger? You take the little bottle, that little vial in your mind, and you bottle that sensation of true intensity, confidence of what you're trying to build, of whatever it is. So you bottle it. You keep it, right? So it's got to be uniqueness. So once we bottled it, right? It's got to be unique, meaning, so now I've bottled all of this emotion. I get in front of my customer's house and I want to be able to unleash all of that instead of having to listen to the song and move around and do all of this. I can actually uniquely tap it within me, which means that once, let's say I think of that moment that I'm in front of my house, listing presentation, I'm super intense and I got it and I do this. You can do that, but you could do this, which means what? Next time, you don't have to think about all this. You don't have to program yourself for it. All you got to do is this. And you're ready to go.
We say enter.
It could be this, it could be this, could be this. It could be whatever you want it to be, right? The idea is that you're anchoring yourself with a specific physical movement that's bringing you all of that bottled confidence or bottled emotion. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So why did the orange on Zimmy's hands drive him so crazy? Why?
Because this was different memories. Maybe he was bullied or something. It's not because it's not nothing to do with orange smell. Orange smell is beautiful.
Yeah.
He just associated in his head with something negative, with something painful, dramatic.
Right.
It could be even some noise, like, and it's just, I guess it was kind of.
And you know what else? It's because he had the orange every day.
Yeah,
And every day. And every day he had to eat the orange. That's how you create the anchor.
I have a story. My own son doesn't like black cherry. Who doesn't like black cherry? He says, Mom, when I smell the black cherry, it brings me back to my bed when I was 3 years old and I was sick with a
Oh,
and you were bringing that
the
cherry syrup,
Tylenol.
and I didn't like that syrup, and each
C'est
time
tellement
I
vrai.
smell the black cherry,
It brings him back to that.
it brings me, yeah, in that time, and he's 28 now. He doesn't want black cherry at all.
So think about it. What are the anchors you need to learn to collapse? And what are the anchors that you want to build? Because I just taught you how to build them. I just showed you how to build a positive, productive anchor. And that you can have it for life by just like that. All of a sudden you get into peak performance. Because you've learned how to anchor yourself instead of the whole world anchoring you.
Athletes do it a lot.
Of course. It's a very, very common technique. It's a very common technique. This is not like I'm making it up at all.
Could you say all those rituals in many cultures it's anchors or different? Let's say many rituals exist for whatever occasions. Is it also anchors because they kind of
Like the word?
they kind of
I don't understand.
actions or
Huh?
or a certain feeling or certain actions. It's like a ritual. You know, many cultures do ritual.
Yeah.
Also anchors because it's bringing them towards
For sure.
something.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right. So think about it, right? Cultures condition you, right? And within all conditioning, there are anchors.
There is special words to say in special circumstances.
Totally. A specific dress to wear a specific event, right? A special dance. Yes, a precursor to an anchor, something that needs to be done before the dance can start. That's a precursor to the anchor, right? That's the pre-stimuli before. Do you see? They exist everywhere. The only thing is that I don't want you to work for your anchors. I want the anchor to work for you. And this is why I taught you today how to what? Create those productive anchors. So what are the steps in revision? Who remembers?
Intensity,
Timing.
Timing and
modeling.
the bottling, and it has to be unique. It wasn't because Zimmy was given oranges 5 times a day, 3 times a day. It's because it was specifically in his lunchbox. It was specifically, he had to eat it at 12:30. And it was specifically stuck on his hands all day long. And all his hands would smell like is oranges. It's a specific, unique moment in time. So who's ready to test that this week? Yeah. So next week, I want to find out what you've discovered or what anchors you have built, what anchors you discovered about yourself, and which ones you'd like to, collapse.
So are we gonna work on collapsing those next week or?
If you'd like.
Or are we collapsing them this week?
Oh, no, it's time for us to close up already. Me too. I checked the time. I was like, I can't go into collapsing. Nor in chaining them, because there's also a chain, but we're not going to go into that. Any questions online? Are we good? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
For everyone here, any questions?